China's submersible is carrying out its latest mission at the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. This is the fourth time the watercraft known as Striver has successfully dived more than 10 kilometers.
China just sent their most advanced robotic Warrior 30, 1,000 feet deep, and what it sent back is haunting. They call it the Robot Dove, a machine built to survive the crushing weight of the entire ocean. Most people would expect to see nothing but mud and darkness, but the reality is much more complex. The footage shows a hidden world of bioluminescent monsters and structures that look almost engineered. You won't believe how these creatures survive, or what the cameras found buried in the sand at the very bottom of the abyss. Record-breaking mission into the trench. The silence of the deep ocean is unlike anything on the surface, and reaching the bottom of the Mariana Trench is a feat few machines can handle. Recently, a specific robotic variant of the famous Striver submersible, often called the Robot Dove, made a historic descent to 31,168 feet. This mission wasn't just about touching the bottom, it was about seeing what no human eye had ever witnessed in high definition. The Mariana Trench is located in the western Pacific Ocean, and it spans 1,585 miles. It is a massive scar on the Earth's crust where the pressure exceeds 1,100 atmospheres. To put that in perspective, that is 16,000 pounds per square inch. Imagine 8 tons of pressure pressing down on every single inch of a machine. It is enough to flatten a regular submarine in less than a second. But here's the catch. The Robot Dove was built with a specialized titanium hull designed to survive this literal crushing environment. It was equipped with state-of-the-art 4K cameras, advanced sonar systems, and robotic arms that could handle the weight of the world. Scientists from the China Ship Scientific Research Center were behind this massive project, and they wanted to push the boundaries of the Deep-Sea Warrior program even further than before. As the machine descended through the water columns, it passed through several zones of the ocean. First comes the sunlight zone, then the twilight zone where light begins to fade, and finally the midnight zone where everything is pitch black. But the Robot Dove was heading for the Hadal zone, named after the god of the underworld. This is the place where people thought life was impossible. What most people do not realize is that the trench is not just a deep hole. It is a complex world with its own weather, currents, and chemistry. The crazy part is that as the robot reached 31,000 feet, the water density actually rose by 5% because of the extreme pressure. The cameras began to roll, and what they captured defied all logic. Instead of a barren wasteland, the lights revealed a bustling environment. There were clouds of sediment rising from the floor, and the sonar started flagging anomalies that did not look like natural rocks. This is a key detail because it suggests that the geography of the deep ocean is far more active than we ever imagined. Nobody expected this to happen, but the deeper the robot went, the more the sensors picked up heat signatures. This was the first hint that something was generating energy in the total darkness. The mission was part of a larger push to understand the deep-sea ecosystems, but the footage that came back was beyond anyone's wildest dreams. The transition from the surface to the abyss takes hours, and every foot deeper brings new risks for the delicate electronics on board. Nightmares at the bottom. Seeing life at 31,000 feet is like seeing a bird fly through a vacuum. It just does not seem possible. Yet, the Robot Dove filmed the deepest known animal colony ever recorded.
Out of the gloom, a tiny pink creature glides by with the elegance of a dancer. That's the bumpy snailfish.
Among the most shocking residents were the snailfish. These creatures, known as Pseudolaparus suirae, live at depths between 26,000 and 33,000 feet. They have gelatinous bodies that help them stay buoyant and survive the pressure. Their skin is so thin you can almost see their organs, and they do not have scales because scales would likely crack under the weight of the water. But get this, these fish are not just surviving, they are thriving. The cameras showed them swimming with a graceful slow motion that suggests they have completely adapted to an environment that would eliminate anything else. Alongside them were swarms of amphipods. These are tiny crustaceans called Hirondelia gigas, but at this depth, they can grow up to 13 inches long. That is basically a giant shrimp the size of a house cat. They feed on detritus, which is organic matter that sinks from the surface over hundreds of years. So, here's the deal. These creatures are living on the crumbs of the world above, but they have built a massive civilization in the dark. A recent study used electronic DNA sampling and detected over 200 different species in this small area. This includes new types of comb jellies that glow with a neon light in the total darkness. This bioluminescence is not just for show, it is a tool for hunting and communication in a place where eyes are often useless. What many can confirm is that these animals have evolved metabolism rates that are 1,000 times slower than animals at the surface. They move slowly, they grow slowly, and they likely live for a very long time. It is not that simple though, because their bodies have evolved at a genetic level. Scientists sequenced their genomes and found duplicated genes specifically for managing salt levels in their blood. Without these, their cells would literally burst. The footage captured these creatures interacting in ways that look almost choreographed. You see a snailfish hover near a glowing jelly, perhaps waiting for it to attract smaller prey. It is a complex food web that operates entirely without sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, they use chemosynthesis. This means bacteria at the bottom of the trench eat minerals like hydrogen sulfide that leak out of the earth. These bacteria then become food for the larger animals. It is a perfect, self-sustaining loop that has existed for millions of years without us ever knowing. The mystery of how these soft bodies survive the weight of the ocean is only the beginning of what the robot discovered. Mineral giants rising from the sand. As the robot Dove scanned the seafloor, the lights caught something truly bizarre. Huge towers of rock were rising out of the silt, belching out thick, dark clouds of fluid. These are known as hydrothermal vents, or black smokers. They look like something out of a science fiction movie, but they are very real. These chimneys can reach temperatures of 752 degrees Fahrenheit. The crazy part is that the water does not boil because the pressure is too high to allow it to turn into steam. These vents are essentially the exhaust pipes of our planet. They spew out minerals like iron, manganese, and sulfur. The robot Dove captured footage of these chimneys covered in thick mats of bacteria. These microbial mats can cover areas of nearly 4 square miles. Basically, these are the forests of the deep sea. The structures themselves are made of mineral deposits that accumulate over thousands of years. Some scientists believe these vents are where life on Earth actually began. But here's the catch. The footage also showed strange, gelatinous egg masses that some people are calling mystery blobs. These were translucent spheres floating near the heat of the vents. It is likely they are the eggs of unknown abyssal species, kept warm by the volcanic heat of the Earth. There are still many rumors in the air about what else might be down there, especially when the cameras caught structures that look almost like ruins. While these are likely just natural rock formations shaped by the intense currents and pressure, their appearance is enough to make anyone do a double take. The robot used its quantum sensors to detect magnetic anomalies around these towers. It turns out the Mariana Trench is a subduction zone where one tectonic plate is being forced under another. This creates microquakes that the robot Dove recorded in real time. These quakes actually help pump minerals out of the vents, fueling the ecosystem. It is a violent, hot, and dangerous environment, yet it is where the most life was found. The footage showed tube worms that grow over 6 feet long living right on the edges of these scalding vents. They have no mouth and no stomach. Instead, they rely entirely on the bacteria living inside them to turn the chemicals from the vents into food. Hands down, this is the most extreme way to live on our planet. The detail and clarity of the 4K footage allowed scientists to see the individual crystals forming on the vent chimneys as the hot fluid hit the near-freezing ocean water. The secrets of the Earth's interior are leaking out through these vents, but we are not the only ones who have left a mark on the abyss. Rare Earth Secrets Under the Waves. Even at 31,000 feet, the impact of the human world is visible. One of the most heartbreaking things the robot dove captured was a simple piece of plastic wedged between two ancient rocks. It is a stark reminder that nowhere on Earth is truly untouched. A study from 2024 found that microplastics are present in 90% of the animals living in the Mariana Trench. These chemicals are being eaten by the amphipods, which are then eaten by the snailfish, moving the pollution up the deep-sea food chain. But there is another side to this story. The minerals found at these depths are incredibly valuable. The abyssal plains are covered in polymetallic nodules. These are small, potato-sized rocks that contain cobalt, nickel, and rare earth minerals. Global reserves are estimated at over 120 million tons, and the deep sea could hold 20% of that. This has led to a massive debate about deep sea mining. On one hand, we need these minerals for electric car batteries and green energy. On the other hand, the robot dove has shown us that the abyss is a fragile, living ecosystem. If we start scraping the floor for rocks, we could destroy species before we even name them. The cost of these missions is another factor. China spent over $500 million on deep-sea research in 2026 alone. Each individual dive can cost between $10 and $20 million. It is an expensive game, but the potential rewards are astronomical. Beyond the minerals, there is the potential for new medicines. The bacteria that survive the pressure and heat of the vents have unique chemical properties. Scientists are already looking at these microbes to develop new antibiotics and cancer treatments. But here's the deal. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we know. The robot dove even caught footage of seismic anomalies that suggest the trench is swallowing far more water into the Earth's mantle than we previously thought. This could change our entire understanding of the global water cycle. Everyone's obsessed with what is happening in space, but the most important discoveries might be happening right under our feet. The question of whether we should explore or protect these deep places is becoming more urgent as the technology improves. So, what does all this mean for the future of humanity? When we look at the footage from the robot dove, we aren't just looking at the bottom of the ocean. We are looking at a blueprint for life on other worlds. Scientists often compare the Mariana Trench to Europa, which is one of the moons of Jupiter. Europa has a massive ocean hidden under a thick crust of ice. The conditions there are likely very similar to what we see at 31,000 feet. If snailfish and giant crustaceans can survive the crushing pressure and total darkness of our ocean, there is no reason to believe life couldn't exist in the oceans of space. This mission has proven that life does not need the sun to flourish. It only needs energy and chemistry. But as we look at the final images sent back by the robot, we have to wonder if we are missing a key detail. Are we seeing a world that is preparing to change? The rising water temperatures and the presence of pollution suggest that the abyss is not as isolated as we thought. The thing is, the deeper we go, the more the mystery expands. We went looking for a floor and we found a door to another world. There are still many things that defy logic, like how certain jellyfish can survive being moved from the surface to the deep and back again without their cells collapsing. It makes you wonder if we are only scratching the surface of what biological life is capable of. The robot dove has finished its mission for now, but the data will be studied for decades. We are standing on the edge of a new era of discovery. Is it possible that the most advanced life on Earth isn't living on the surface, but has been hidden in the darkness all along? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more deep-sea mysteries.